Hi students, so in this session let us learn how to trace the linear search program. Okay, so before going to that, I have already taught you what is an array, where it starts, where it ends. Okay, so let me revise that once. Array is nothing but a collection of homogeneous elements. Homogeneous means same type of elements. Okay, and it starts with 0 and it ends at n minus 1. Okay, so in this array we can apply few of the operations on it. In that, one of the operation is searching. Okay, so as usual, take a book and pen, and before you start, write the program in your book. One side, please write down the program so that whenever I go for the next step, you can easily see in your notes. Okay, so now coming to the searching. Okay, what is searching? Consider you have a book in your home. Okay, in your cupboard there is a book called as CPPS. If you want to search a particular book in your cupboard, you need to know which book, right? So in the same way here, searching is nothing but you are going to find the location of a specified element in their particular list. Okay, so that is called as searching. And whatever you are going to search, that we call it as key. If you are going to find that key, then it is search, we call it search as successful. If it is not there, then you call it as unsuccessful. In searching we have many techniques, and in your syllabus there are only two techniques. First one is linear search and the second one is binary search. So today we are going to learn with the linear search. Linear search is also called as sequential search. Okay, so and you know that whenever we talk about an array, we need something called as for loop. Why we need for loop? If we want to go from one element to another element, that is traversing. Okay, traversing means moving from one element to another element, then we need a for loop just for that iteration. Okay, so that iteration variable, which one we are using? We are using something called as I. Okay, so let me start here. So in linear search, I have considered the array name as A and array size is 10. So array size is 10 means it starts at 0 and it ends at n minus 1. What is the n size here? 10. So 10 minus 1 is 9. So 0 to 9. You can see here I have filled from 0 to 9. And here I have already filled the array elements also. 0 to 9 is the index or subscript. Okay, and whatever I have filled are called as values of the array. So now I want to search an element called as 30 in the first one. Okay, so what I'll do, see, first I'll go with the first one, that is A of 0. Is 30 equal to 10? No, it is false. So I'll go for the next one. How I'll jump for next one? By using this I plus plus in the for loop. Okay, so now A of 1 is 5. Is 5 equal to 30? No. Next I'll go for 20. Is 20 equal to 30? No. Again 50. Is it equal? No. 7. Is it equal? No. 15? No. 29? No. 80? No. 62? No. 30? Yes. So I will stop here. Why I have taken the last element means, the meaning is it will be searching until the last element. Okay, so consider I have 52. There is no 52 in this particular list, right? After 30 the array ends, so it will stop there and it will tell us it is not present or the search is unsuccessful. And one more thing you should know, say for example, what is the location of this 20? It is 2. This is only for the programmers or who knows the programming. But consider I don't know much about the programming, so the location of that will be 2 plus 1, that is 3. You can see here first element, second element, third element. So whenever you find that element, whatever the index is there, you are going to add plus 1 to find the location. Okay, you can see here. So what is the 30th index? It is 9. What is its location? Plus 1, that is 10. Okay, I hope you got this. And consider I am searching for the element called as 7. As soon as I find this element, I will stop then and there. So I'll use one keyword called as break, which I have already taught you in the second module. Okay, so we'll go for next one. Okay, so here your program starts. As usual, we have two preprocessor directives, stdio standard library.h, stdio standard input and output. It is a header file which supports printf and scanf. Okay, next one is standard library which supports you with the keywords. Okay, break, exit functions. Now here void main indicates that the main function, whatever the code you are going to write, it is starting from here by indicating the flower brackets. Okay, so now here I have all the things in the int itself. Int is nothing but integer, whole numbers. We don't have the decimal part. So how many are there? It is having n, and then a of 100, let me leave it I, it will create one box, then key, it will create one box, then location, it will create one more box. Let me first tell why these are needed. N is for the size of the array. How many elements are there in the given list? Okay. So how much you can select? Whatever the value you have given here. Okay. Maximum size is 100. So you can select whatever the n value within 100. Okay. That is the first thing. Now I, why we are using? To traverse in the array. Next one is key. Why key is needed? Because the search, whatever you are going to search that particular element, that you are going to store in the key. What is this? Location is needed. After you find the key, you need to display the location. So you need this LOC. LOC stands for location. Now coming to this A of 100, A is the array name and it will be having 100 elements, means it will be having the storage capacity of 100 based upon the n value you are going to give. Okay, so these are the variables, and for all the variables the data type here we have used is integer. Okay, next one is the program starts here. Enter the size of the array. Consider I'll give my size of the array here in the scanf as 10. So the 10 will be stored in the address of n. You can see here memory. So in n the value is 10. So what it will prepare? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it will prepare you the 10 spaces. So since it is 10, it starts from 0 and ends at n minus 1. N value is 10. So 10 minus 1 is 9. Okay. You can see here 10, you got the array name 0 to 9. Okay, so now you are going to enter the elements of the array. Okay, so how you are going to enter? So printf, it will print you as enter the elements of array. For I equal to 0 and I should be less than what? N, that is 10. Okay, so once again I'll write here I equal to 0 and it should be always less than n, that is 10. So okay, is 0 less than 10? Yes. So consider my first element is 10. So that will be entered in A of I. So what is the I value we have? 0. So in A of 0 my first element is 10. So it will go back again. I plus plus means what? 0 becomes 1. Is 1 less than 10? Yes, it's true. So my second element is 5. So 5 will be stored in A of 1. Then again it will go back. I plus plus means 1 will become 2 now. Consider now my next element is 20. So that 20 will be stored in A of 2. So in the same way, I'll fill all the elements as you know how to input this already. 15, 29, 80, 62 and 30. So by the time I insert this 30 element, the I value will be now. For the next iteration, the I value becomes 10. So is 10 less than 10? Yes, it is false, right? It is not equal. Sorry, it is not less than, it is equal. So it will not go for scanf. Instead, it will come out of the scanf and it will go for the next statement. Okay. So now see here all the elements have been filled, whatever I have given. So what is the next step after this element, after entering the elements of array? You are going to enter the search element. Okay. So what is the search element for the first time I am taking is, let me take it as 29. Okay, so the 29 will be stored in the address of key. You remember, right? Ampersand is for address. So the 29 will be stored here. Okay, so now location I need to find, right? Location, it starts from 0. The whatever the searching element is there, it may start from 0 and it be any of the integer number. So by initializing by default, I'll take it as minus 1. Why minus 1? Where array starts 0. So previous to array, previous to 0, what is the number we get? Minus 1. So location, I'll initialize it to minus 1. So that if location is equal to or greater than 0 means, then we think that the element is present. If it is minus 1 means the element is not present. See, now my location is minus 1. Have I started searching? No, right? So it means that the element is not there by default. Okay, after you start processing, then if you find the element, then you'll update this location. Okay, now you can see here, now n value is 10, location is minus 1, key is 29 and you have all the elements filled. Now let us start with the searching. Okay, so here you have this loop. For I equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. So for first time what is I am taking here, I is equal to 0. Less than n means n value is 10. Yes, 0 is less than 10. So it will enter into the for loop. If key equal to A of I, what is the key value we have? 29 is equal to I value is 0. So I have mentioned here A of 0. What is there in A of 0? 10. is 29 equal to 10? No, right? It is false. Okay, this if loop became false, so it will not enter inside, so it will go back for the for loop. Okay, so it won't enter inside since it is false, so it will go back for the for loop. And now I will become what? First it was 0, so now it will become 1. You can see here. Then again, is 1 less than 10? Yes, it is true. So again it will come inside. It will check for the a of 1, next element. So is 29 equal to 5? No, it is false. So again it won't come inside. So it will go back for the for loop. Okay, so once it go back for the for loop, that is a of 2. So what is there in a of 2? You have 20. So is 29 equal to 20? No, it is false. So again what it will do? It will go for the for loop. Now a value became 3 and you are comparing with the 50 value. It is not equal. Now again a will become, sorry, I will become 4. Then is 29 equal to 7? No, it is false. Now a became, next again for next iteration, a will become 5. Is 29 equal to 50? No, it is false. Now the next value is 6. So now here you got, is 29 equal to a of 6? Yes, it is true. So when if loop becomes true, it will enter this loop. Okay, location equal to I plus 1. What is the I value we have? 6. 6 plus 1. Do you remember when I was taught you generally in the first slide, I told you that whatever the location you are going to get, you are going to add plus 1, because here the array starts from 0. But for the normal people, usually the lists will start from 1. So 6 plus 1 is 7. So the location here I updated from -1 to 7. So after you update this location, you are going to break. Break means what happens? It will come out of this loop. It won't go back for the for loop. Why? Because the array, the whatever the search element is there, you found out that. So now here you are going to check. Okay. Sorry. So now if if location is greater than or equal to 0. What is the location you got? 7. Is 7 greater than or equal to 0? Yes, it is true. So it will come for if part. Else it was going for else part. So it is true. The element is found at whatever the location is there. You are going to print that. What is the location we have? 7. So the element is found. Consider you don't have an element. Okay. So what that time what to do? Okay. We'll go with second example. So here the same thing again, n a of 100, I key location. I am taking the n size, I am entering it as 10, you can see here, and the same elements I will enter again. But here the only change is the search element, whatever is there, I had taken as 300. You can see here the key is 300, which is not present here. So that time what will happen? Okay, so we can see here, first it will check with a of 0, that is 10, no, false. Then I will get incremented a of 2, false. Then a of 3, 50, false. A of 4, 7, false. A of 5, 15, false. You can see this, right? Here the values are getting changed. Okay, observe this. Now a of 6, 29, false. A of 7, 80, false. A of 8, 62, yes, it is not equal to 300, so false again. At last a of 9, it will become 30, then again it is false. So when I becomes 10, is 10 less than 10? No, right? It is equal to, so it will become false. So even though they completely did the for loop, it became false. So it will come out now. Okay. So you can see here, if location is greater than or equal to 0, since I didn't find the element, I never updated this location. The location remained as -1 itself. So is -1 greater than or equal to 0, students? No, right? So it is false. So it will come for the else part and it will print search unsuccessful. That is, the element is not present. Okay. So this is called as linear search or sequential search, and the advantage of this is it can be applied for both sorted elements and also for the unsorted elements. The elements or the list, whatever the elements you have, it may be in the order or it may not be in the order. Okay, thank you everyone. If you have any doubts, please do contact me.